Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is entitled At Your Door. It was written by Ellen Eisenville, Mark Morrison, Barbara Manui, Chris Adams, Scott D. Anielowski, and Herbert Hike. I'm your game master, and this is episode 34. Our recap will be done by Morgan Llewellyn as Margaret Evans. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Morgan?
So I seem to have found this recorder. Appears to be several entries from several of my colleagues. I hope that if something is to happen to us, that somebody finds this soul record at these last couple of days. So I guess the biggest thing to report on is we found a way to get to Alex. We started talking to a crazy preacher that we've been walking past. He goes by Salter Bob. Typical fire, brimstone, end of the world stuff. But he told us that he was a member of the Brotherhood of Forks, and he has fully embraced Alex in his teachings. From him, we've learned that the boy is close. A little too close for my comfort. He's here, just outside the tent city. To make matters worse, we also watched over the pit. And during our vigilance, several people approached it mesmerized, including three of us, Heather, Jade, and Desmond. It was incredible. Heather just stopped mid-conversation and just tried to push past me and throw herself inside the pit. I did all I could to stop her and get the others, but we couldn't save everybody. Some people went down there and were swallowed up by the earth. Heather, Jade, and Desmond also reported that they had a shared vision of swimming in a sea of magma, where they all thought that they were some massive creature that was eating and maybe preparing to breed. Additionally, Desmond and I also discovered that the device we were giving to protect us against Alex was a fake, a placebo, a simple back of a watch attached to a plastic cover. Useless. We've been sent in here blind, and I don't know who to trust. Earlier today, the rest of my team almost just walked right into Alex's lair. They were talking to his followers, and they were just ready to go, but I forced myself to throw up to buy time to tell them that we are in some grave danger. And also, Dr. Leach found that somebody's keeping track of our movements. And now, members of the Brotherhood of Forks knows where we are. They're visiting our tent. I've stepped away for a moment, but they're still talking with the others. They're insistent on taking us to Alex. And Heather, much to my dismay, seems to be buying into it all. And now with Desmond seeming to convert Jade to his pseudo-worship of Nagurov, and Heather and her now newfound appreciation of Alex, I think time is running out for us all. If we can't resolve this quickly, I fear that all of us, in our own way, will succumb to the darkness. Margaret out.
All right. So Salter Bob is continuing, at least for a few moments. So I think you people seem to be very nervous. I know that there's a horrible disaster that's taking place around us. But if you just come and talk, that's all we ask. But if you don't want to, that's okay too. If you want to see the truth, the only place to find it is with Alex.
It's quite late at night at this point, is it not? We started our overnight vigil at midnight and then succumbed to the vision, or is it early morning at this point?
I think it's fairly early in the morning, because what's his name had just taken you to the pit to take a look at it in the morning.
Yeah.
And you've left the pit, and it's
right,
now that
and
you're
then
back.
Yes.
And then we were talking to Salter Bob, and
He's tracked you down.
Right, but we were talking to him and another guy, and they were trying to get us to go then. Well, Dr. Liege was gone. I forced myself to throw up so I could gather everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we left. But yeah, now he's coming. He's tracked us.
All right.
Yeah.
So he says, well, folks, I hope to see you there.
All right. And you said it's at the James Rolls station, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. I'll see you there. I'll be there.
Is this Alex? Is he registered in here, or he never came into the camp? He just stayed at the station.
I don't believe that he's registered here. He's not staying in the camp, no.
What time's a good time to come by?
Anytime.
Anytime. I like it. Alex is a flexible person.
He's a 10-year-old boy. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty flexible. Doesn't have much on his schedule.
Are the other followers of Alex, do they stay with him outside the camp too, or
They come and
travel
go.
out?
They
Mhm.
come and go.
Is it a large body of people that would be joining if we came out to James Rolfe?
Altogether, boy, I don't know how many there are. Maybe a couple of hundred by now, but not
I
all of
guess-
them here. The movement's sort of taken hold in other places as well.
But I guess with Alex being a 10-year-old boy, yes, record keeping isn't on his priority
Not
list.
really, no. We just want to hear what he has to say.
Right. Yeah. Is there
Can
like
we-
a password, a
Hmm.
special hand?
Well, no, but they probably won't let you just walk right in.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why. Should we say Salter Bob sent us?
Sure,
All right.
Who's they?
the Brotherhood of Forks.
Should I bring a fork?
Yeah, do we bring our own forks?
You can. But you can
So
leave
we-
that until if you decide to become members of the Brotherhood of Forks, then
I like what
Now
you
you said that you were all there waiting to hear Alex's word, hearing him to tell you something. How often does he do that?
you still don't quite understand. But he's not our guru. He's not our leader. He's not our Messiah. He's just a 10-year-old boy who seems to be able to see the truth.
So let me ask you a question. Just by being in his presence, you understand. Is that correct?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
I mean, does he like speak to you with words? Does he talk?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
someone
sometimes you can't get him to shut up.
compiling Alex's teachings?
Not that I know of. It's like once you hear him, you kind of realize he's right. It's best if you just come and see for yourself. You don't need to be afraid. There's nobody going to hurt you.
Oh, I'm not.
We just want to be your friends.
I have an abiding interest in the truth, I must admit.
I do have to go.
All right.
Thank you
Night.
for seeking us out, Soldier Bob.
I just thought you needed a little friendly prodding.
And thanks for the medicine from my friend.
No problem. And he leaves.
All right. All right. We know where he's at now. We can get him and get the hell out of here.
Right, except we have no antidote to his ability.
And we don't know who's watching us.
Yeah.
And we don't
Right,
know
right.
whether we've been set up this entire year again and again by Jadek. And
Now, I wonder if it's a psychic phenomenon, or do you have to actually hear him speak? Because maybe a couple of us could. I don't,
Oh,
can't
like
plugs.
like Odysseus and the Sirens?
Sure.
No, for some, I don't think that any of that's gonna. Look, I mean, if some of us walk in there wearing earplugs, that's gonna seem a little strange.
I wonder if we could bring
People coming to hear the truth just to...
Yeah. What if we could bring a backpack?
I'll
That's a
search
good
it.
question.
Look, I mean, if we can trust any of the information that we've been given by Glonsandi, right? I mean, these people will dedicate their lives to protecting this kid. I mean,
Yeah.
at least I'm sure a few of them will take that far enough to search us.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that if we get within a certain radius, we're screwed.
Well, Jade, I think that no matter which way you slice it, we're screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people there. We are being...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're in trouble. That's for sure. I was thinking maybe we could make a backpack, give it to Jason, have it on the timer. He goes in front of us. He gets taken over.
I mean, we've been sent here with the... It seems to be very clear now. I mean, somebody's waiting for us to walk in there. And they gave us something to help convince us that we'd be fine if we did so. But I don't think that anybody cares about us.
Well, think of how long
They're just trying to find the kid. That's all.
We were in Jenny's cave forever, you know, and eventually somebody got what somebody wanted out of it, but not us.
The only thing I could figure is at some point we're going to need to confront him. Should some of us hang back?
But no, I want to know who's watching us. Because look, if Glonsandi and Jadic, I mean, let's look at their travel. I mean, they've been out there to where this lab that created Alex to begin with was. And now they've conveniently tracked us to go find him. I mean, this just seems like a standard retrieval. They just want the kid back. The lab for whatever it is that they're doing. And we've just been sent an expendable arm to go in there and show him where he is.
Didn't Leach say he saw some military type following us now too?
He looks pretty clean cut.
So you got the pit.
Nice suit, though he scuffed it up a little bit. Obviously trying to blend in, but he didn't.
I don't think it was. I mean, if it was military, I mean, why not just dress up like the National Guard? They're everywhere. Right. I think that this guy is.
Oh, big corporation, something. He's not a refugee and he's not direct military, but it's another force. Now you got the pit that's taking people. You got that, let's just call him the military guy for now, for lack of better terms. And then you have Alex's group and the Forks. I mean, that's three opposing forces against us to begin with. Plus all the creatures that are out there running around from the last few expeditions.
I would like you all to do spot hiddens. Tell me who gets the best roll.
29 out of 45, so just shy of a hard.
Regular.
47, so that's a regular pass.
61, nothing special.
So Jade, as you guys are talking about this, you guys have mentioned the military guy a couple of times. And you continually and involuntarily, every time you're talking about being followed, you're glancing out the tent windows at things going on around you, and you're thinking to yourself, well, that lady over there is obviously dressed in rags that she's been wearing for a couple of days. And that guy over there is in a similar condition, and that guy over there, he looks like maybe he fits the description. And he's definitely a couple of tents over and kind of just standing there smoking, but he's staring in your direction.
I'm going to stand up and go, I need answers. Follow me. And I'm just going to walk out of the tent.
Jade, where are you going? Stop.
And I'm going to just beeline for him. If he starts to move, I'm going to run.
The second you start heading in his direction, he sees you and disappears behind the tent.
Well, it's a couple tents away, right?
Right.
I mean, I just take off running. I'm quick.
All right. So you guys see her suddenly run towards the tent.
What the hell is with this kid?
Look, I mean,
I'm
if she saw
moving.
him and she just charged him, we could have surrounded. We could have done something, but now, oh my gosh!
Do a luck roll for me, Shade.
14 out of 52.
Okay. As you come around the tent, you see him about 20 feet away from you, walking swiftly away. If he sees you continuing to run, he starts to run.
Now, is there people?
Yeah, there's people everywhere.
I'm going to scream, "That's the man that did it! Stop him! Stop him!" Screaming and I'm a pretty young woman, and I'm just going, "Please help me! Grab him! Stop him! He did it! He did it! He did it!"
All right.
I'm following Jade in general, but I'm not trying to keep up with her, so I'll be witness to whatever shenanigans.
He rolled a 007, so he manages to skip over people. Most people are not going to help you because they're very thinking about themselves. But very quickly, he dodges in and out of a few places, and you seem to have lost him. Eventually, Desmond catches up behind you.
Did you get a good look at him at least?
Did I?
Well, you could see his suit. You could see the color of his hair. You could see the way it was cut. He's clean cut.
I ran track all through college. I'm quick. He was smarter.
No, we should have. As I come. Okay, getting too old for this. Jade.
You should stop smoking.
You know what, Dr. Liege?
You know what? If this was I was counting on people's kindness. If this was a normal day, somebody would have grabbed us.
No.
Not
You needed
likely.
to tell us, and we could have slipped out the back and gone around. We could have closed it off. You need to being that impulsive in the wrong situation. I mean, this time you just got away. Next time, it could end up with you or some other people dead. Okay?
Well, I mean, this guy's watching us. He's going to watch us. Maybe he's like Slugworth, but, I think, there's nothing we can do about him. We just...
Right, but I wanted to know who sent him.
Yeah, we need to go...
Because what if it's
anyone
full, I
else
mean,
catch
if he's full wilderness, is he military? Is he...
Yeah. Did anyone else catch a glimpse of him? Jade, what did he look like?
He had a suit on. He definitely was a hell of a lot cleaner, better fed, and better dressed than anybody else here.
Okay.
He sticks out like a sore thumb if you're looking for him.
If she describes him physically, it's pretty much exactly the same person that you saw.
Well, he knows that we are on to him now, so he's going to be far more careful, or he's just going to get replaced by somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll be smart enough to shower the next person they send in to spy on us. Or not shower them.
Or roll around in the mud, something. Or just bludgeon a local homeless person and steal their clothes.
Everybody's homeless now.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought I was going to be quicker. Sorry.
That's all right.
I guess he's trained. So Heather, you're for Soldier Bob's invitation.
Yes, I will be attending.
And we're not going to let you go alone, obviously.
No, if one of us goes, we all go.
Does that mean you're reconsidering, Margaret?
But I mean, here's how I look at things now. If one or two of us stay behind, I mean, and the rest go in there and don't come back, it's already over. I mean, what is the one or two people acting alone supposed to do about all this? Other than save their own skins. If we're going to go in there, I mean, the more of us, the better.
Do you think the chant will benefit us?
I mean, if this kid is going to attack us psychically, if you will, I don't think that chant's going to help us one bit.
Doesn't hurt though.
It does hurt slowly. I've
Yeah.
come to find.
And if we do go in, my feeling is that we're going in to eliminate this kid. As little as I like to contemplate the murder of a child who, if a danger, it's not any fault of his own. But I don't want to have access to his ability any more than I want the government to.
Right, and I mean, we've already let who knows how many things let loose on this world. We have a chance to finally stop one thing.
But do we? Or are we going to just, have our backpacks taken by some forky lunatics and then have our minds swallowed? And what the hell do we do about the giant worms on the other side of camp?
I mean, I don't think there's anything to be done about them.
Do you think they'll just go back down into the center of the planet or wherever they come from once this is over?
Well, that's all I can really hope for, or any of us can really hope for. Because, I mean, if they decide not to, once again, what can we do about it?
Now, from what we understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the worms come up to try and destroy Alex?
That's what they think. I mean, the man who told us this also sent us,
Exactly.
basically an arts and crafts project and said,
We can only hope that if he's eliminated, they'll retreat back to wherever the hell they came from.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, really, I'm just hoping that whatever line of action we decide doesn't result in mass.
I just thought of something. Maybe we need to throw Alex into that goddamn pit.
Oh, I thought of that a while
No,
ago.
but
Same.
how are we supposed to do that? Jade?
I'm just throwing things out here, man.
If we don't get taken over by him, we could talk him into it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Desmond, what does that palm stuff do to you? Does it affect your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's a euphoric, psychoactive, kind of sexy. I don't know that we could get it into him or if it would affect him.
You didn't snag a sample of just the palm, right?
No, and I didn't stand her up last night, so we're not. I don't know what terms we're on.
Money is our best friend, so you're on good terms. We got money.
Yeah, and I don't think she'd have any objection to us getting the straight stuff. But again, we have the question of like how we'd get it into the kid, whether it would work on the kid. What
and
happens
if we
to
could
all
just
the people
take
who
only the kid, yeah, he might be followed by a throng of people if we convinced him to go anywhere.
I wasn't going with it on the kid. I was going, maybe it'll help dilute whatever bullshit he's putting on us. Maybe it'll already change some kind of brain pattern or...
I mean, or it could also make us more susceptible. I mean, the only way to see that would be that, I mean, we're scientists.
Right.
I mean, let's not forget that. We gotta, I mean, there would be some experimenting that would need to be done, but we don't have time for any of that.
Right.
Well, maybe we could do some experiments. Maybe go up in a pair, one person on palm, one person not, one person on the chant, one person not. You know what I mean? Like, let's hedge our bets.
Too many variables. I mean,
right, we all go 2 people on the chant, 2 people on palm, 1 person sober.
But let's look at the differences, Jade. 4 of us here have encountered an incredible amount of pain and suffering and mind reality-shattering events, if you will. Right? Some of us are far older. Different genders. I mean, look, there's way too many variables here. I think that if we're gonna go, let's just go. If the chant comforts you at all, if you feel that makes you feel more confident, a little more brave, then go ahead.
I just figured it couldn't hurt to cover a bunch of bases at once. You know, if we all walk in and boom, we're hypnotized, we're hypnotized. There's nothing to do about it. But if that palm cigarette could save one person, so let it be. One person's on palm, one person is chant, one person, you know. I'm just trying to spread the hedge the bet so at least somebody might get out of it.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt to buy some palm anyway. So
it would be an amusing end to our year of.
A year? It's only been a few months. Oh my goodness.
I'm getting toward a year, but it's been 6 years experientially. I spent a year or two at least in that cave, going quietly mad.
It feels like such a long time.
It'd be funny if we were happy cultists at the end, following a 10-year-old science experiment around, grinning and waving, waving our forks.
Yeah. One problem with if we do manage to chuck Alex in the pit, one problem with all the cultists following him is who's going to pay for the damage to the vehicles? If they're all in the pit, they can't pay for our insurance premiums.
But they're not our vehicles anyway. So,
and given that the city around us has been totally destroyed by an earthquake and tsunami, I think the paint job insurance is really out the window.
Right, but for me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of trying to appease the giant worm creatures that are eating humans. I don't feel the great need to go out of my way to make sure that they feel comfortable and okay with this situation.
This is one city that they destroyed just by what we assume tunneling underneath it. If they wanted this, they could take out the country, the continent. Appeasing them might be the only choice.
Appease them how? I mean, if they want to kill all humanity, they're gonna do that regardless. They could have done it already.
But they haven't, so there's a reason for it.
But presumably, Jade, they've been down there far longer than this kid's been around. And for some reason, I don't think that this kid is all of a sudden gonna make them.
But we can't say he didn't either. And that's the only anomaly that we have here. You know what I'm saying? Like in San Damiel, the only other anomaly besides the worms is Alex. You know?
And I'm sure that
and the Chocho and the lab. This place is
yes, and whatever that escaped creature was from way long time ago. What's his name now?
The doctor's weird creature.
Yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
the previous owner of the farm.
Yeah.
The good thing that came out of this is that whatever is running around the sewers finally probably got smushed when the whole city had a massive series of tumblers.
True.
Fingers crossed.
So, I wonder if Peter Tate, if we'll find him there with Alex. What if he joined the Brotherhood?
I think that's
possibly.
Yeah. Was that guy smoking? Was it like a smoke pit, or was he just kind of standing all by him? Like, I want to see if I could go over and see any of his butts, or if there'd be a whole bunch of people's cigarette butts around there.
Well, you can go look.
Okay, go over there and check it out.
He probably didn't even stomp on it, since he had to get away from our runner.
See what brand it is. If it's not camel.
Yeah, but it's not the one that Rita was hoping it is. But
no, I think Rita only had Marlboro.
Yeah, that's right. That's because I smoke Camel. I'll go over there and check it out.
Right. You go over there, and there is quite a lot of cigarette butts on the ground, but there does seem to be a pile of them. So the guy's been watching you for a while
Mm,
in that position.
that's disturbing. And then what brand of it?
Brandy.
Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, yep. All right. Lucky, probably. Then smelling, do they smell palmish?
No.
No. Okay. Dang. Thought maybe.
Heather looking to bum some.
Yeah. Enough left to smoke. All right. Okay. Well, I'm with Jade. I think I want to go buy some palm. Dr.
Heather,
Flores.
I'm not sure that your interest is really scientific.
I know it's not, but I've
I
accepted
mean,
that.
this might be the last couple of hours that any of us have with free will or our lives. So, I guess spend it as you wish.
If you are able to score an actual sample of palm,
Mm-hmm.
bring it back to me. I'd like to look at it.
You
Only
think
a small
that
bit.
having a sample of palm might be wonderful?
Well, I want to figure out what it is.
All right. So what do you want to do?
And how what's the current status of your experimental laboratory, Dr. Leash? If we wanted to go and visit James Rolfe Square, are we prepared to bring anything destructive?
So I've got the MRE surprise, as you know, and I've got a backpack with some jars in it that if they were to crack and mix, it would be not the most concussive thing, but there's also some exothermal happenings going on there. Everything else in the car is stable for the moment.
Does anything that you have prepared look unsuspicious?
We'd
I
have
mean,
to
you don't
work.
have a toothpaste tube bomb or something else that a
We'd
member
have
of the
to,
Forked Brethren would ignore.
Yeah. We'd have to scrounge up some medicine bottles, stuff like that.
Well, we just got this Dramamine sample.
Shampoo bottles, yeah.
Shampoo I like.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you thinking in terms of time for that transition?
Really all it takes is 5 minutes I could get everything transitioned into unscrupulous bottles. But the main time sink of that is going to be finding bottles that aren't going to raise any concern.
Would a plastic milk jug be suitable for any of this?
Yeah, we could put one of the clear things in there and say it's water.
I mean, there have to
provided
be.
they don't smell it.
Yeah, there have to be people carrying buckets and jugs and whatnot all around here. They're probably a little bit precious, but also was anything in Rita's stock that you could use?
I don't know. I didn't look too much
Or
at Rita's stock.
Should we not bother with subtlety and just try to go in and assume that if we don't lose our minds to his unintelligible powers, that we'll power through?
Who knows?
I mean, it seems like he's basically the queen ant, and they'll do anything to save and coddle him. So
I'm thinking that a lot of the water distribution to us is probably bottled water, no?
Yes.
So there would be ample plastic bottles around. And I'm thinking they might even have juice, like low Tropicana bottles, and there's probably more plastic than anything in this camp.
Let's go dumpster diving. See what we can find.
What are you looking for?
Glass bottles, plastic bottles, hell, toothpaste tubes. Fine, whatever.
You'd find all of those things probably
Okay.
without any trouble.
All right. Do you want me to make a roll and to?
I
Like
think you're pretty
innocuous
much an
ones?
expert. Just, you
Okay.
know, you can't walk in there with 5-gallon jugs of chemicals. And it's like, how would you? It's not like you're going to the grocery store.
This
Right.
is my backpack full of, 10 2-liter Coke bottles.
You can also guess they're probably going to search you. So,
Hmm.
Yeah, you can feel free to try to make any preparations that you want, but
All right.
there's a particular saxophone player that I'm a little fond of. I've heard rumors that he might be playing somewhere, so and what might be my last couple of hours, I'm thinking I'm going to go try to listen to him one last time. So if you would excuse me.
All right. Yeah. Give me an hour, and I'll be back at the tent. So Tom, I'm gonna make my my party favors as harmless looking as possible,
okay.
and then I'm gonna stop by my Doomsday Prepper friend's tent. Is he in there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Polishing up his gun. Literally.
Not figuratively.
Right.
The tent would be closed if he was doing that.
Not necessarily.
One of those types. Okay. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. Got a minute?
Sure, come on in.
I'm gonna
Have a seat.
do a
Like-
quick look
He looks
outside the
around.
tent, and
He says,
then
do you like
I'll
whiskey?
close. Oh,
He pulls
of
out
course I do.
a flask of whiskey.
I'm gonna close the tent flap and tap my nose. Of course I like whiskey.
What's up?
All right. So you know the cartel, right?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. So I'm pretty sure a couple members of my group just stepped on some toes they probably shouldn't have. We've been invited to a meeting, and one out of the 5 of us is looking forward to it. Do you have anything that I could secret on my person that
Well, as
could
far
help
as
us
a
out of a
weapon?
that could help us out of a sticky situation?
Well, I got some knives. I got it's kind of hard. You'll probably I got guns, got holsters.
That's probably not going to make it in there.
Well, look, I got a knife. You should be able to conceal it pretty well on your person somewhere. Strap it onto your hip, but inside your pants so that they can't see it.
Yeah. Have you heard about this palm crap they're selling?
Palm. What is that? A drug?
Mm-hmm.
Not surprised. It's how they get at everybody. They
Uh-huh.
get everybody hooked up on drugs, and then they come in and take over.
Yeah, I haven't been able to procure a sample to figure out what it is, but that's got me worried too. I don't know. Got any and of course I've got money for this. I'm not going to stiff you.
Hey,
Especially-
if it's for a good cause.
Arguably. This is good whiskey.
Yeah, Lagavulin 16.
You managed to find this in this shithole?
No, I didn't find it in this shithole.
Oh, okay.
I've been going out hunting
happier
during the
times.
day.
Happier times.
Just have to avoid the militia.
Right. Yeah. What size are your shoes?
10.5.
Nice. I wear a 9. You have a spare set of shoes?
Got boots. Yeah. They're going to be too
Okay.
big for you, though. What do you got in mind? Hiding the knife in the boot?
Maybe not the knife. If you got if there's something I could stuff in the toes of the boots to make them fit a little better.
Well, I mean, I got some plastique. The thing is that you wouldn't have the detonator. It ain't going to do nothing without the detonator.
What's the detonator look like? Is it wired?
I have no idea what they actually look like. Yeah,
It would be it would be wired.
Some sort of a thing. Yeah.
I don't know if there's I don't know if there would be wireless detonators at this time. But yeah.
Right.
Let's see. What should 9-volt would set that off, right?
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I got something that might distract them.
Fireworks?
Got some firecrackers. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds like guns going off.
That might be worth looking into. Yeah. Yeah. So give me
yeah.
give me a couple ounces of plastic explosive, and I'll make these shoes fit a little bit better. I'll worry about the detonator.
Just don't go kicking nobody.
Oh, definitely not.
So he gives you a small amount of plastic, be enough to blow a door off its hinges.
All right. And how you been the last day?
I'm okay.
Yeah. You know that sinkhole over that way?
Oh yeah, sinkhole.
Yeah. Definitely stay away from that after 12. I saw like a cult or something. I don't know. I saw people chucking themselves in there.
Crazy people trying to just end themselves. I ain't going to end myself. I'm going to go on and come through this whole thing alive. If I'm the last person on earth.
Right. Yeah. But that's definitely a sketchy area.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything I can get you before peace out?
No, I'm cool.
All right. You take care.
You too.
Hopefully this isn't the last time.
So Margaret, you've gone wandering off. Do a listen roll. Oh, I didn't see if you wrote anything.
31. I'm going to spend 4 points of luck to pass.
Okay. Indeed, as you wander around for a while listening, ultimately you can hear a saxophone somewhere off in the distance being played. As you continue to wander closer, you can definitely pretty much tell that it's Panther. He's got a very distinctive sort of way of playing around a melody in a very elaborate sort of way. It's very much his signature. And as you're getting closer, and you know that it's probably just a couple of tents around the corner, the music suddenly turns really kind of sad and cold. It's not as bright. It's almost disturbing, you know, like Panthers it's so brilliant, but it's just not bright and cheery, if you will. And as you come around the corner, you see Panther sitting there, and he's got his sunglasses on, and he's got his clothes, and he's dusty. He's got a leather jacket, so he's kept it in pretty good condition. And he's sitting there playing his saxophone. It doesn't look like he's playing to anybody. It's just he's sort of relaxing as he's playing it. It's very, it's almost heart-wrenching, the sound of it as you approach.
You seem a little bit down on your luck there, my friend.
And he stopped playing. He says, "Well, Miss Evans, you know, it's how I feel on the inside right now. I play what I feel."
I think that's how most of us around here are feeling these days.
He says, "You folks managed to make it through okay, I guess. You look none the worse for wear.
You seem to keep pretty good care of yourself too.
You look kind of down yourself, though.
Yeah.
I know this can be really depressing here, but you know, hang in there. You're doing fine."
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that you haven't drawn a crowd.
Oh, they come and go.
Well, would you mind playing something for me, Panther?
Sure.
Use a bit of cheering up.
What would you like to hear?
I'll name a song off of one of his discs.
Okay. That's a good choice. He starts playing it and plays it for a bit, and he says, "Now, of course, I like to improvise around the song." And he starts playing it. I would like you to do a power roll in this case.
An 85 is a fail.
Okay. His music almost has a mesmeric quality. It draws you in. It takes you on a journey. And you find that when the song is done, you're not really sure of how long you've been standing there. It could have been 5 minutes. It could have been an hour and a half. It's just his playing is that good. You can see why he's got numerous albums that he's been on. And here he is stuck in this nightmare along with you all. So what are your plans now?
I think I'm going to try to take care of one last bit of business before going home.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is you're going to try, it's probably not going to work. But that seems to be our luck nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Good luck on getting back home. And he leans back and plays a little bit more. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Wanted to go see Rita Raingear and go get some Palm cigarettes.
She sells you a pack. There's only 5, but that's a pack nowadays.
All right.
And the cost was probably doubled because he called her Rita Raingear and not Rita Raincoat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, probably. Jade and Desmond, what are you doing?
I was hoping to help Dr. Liege with his preparations in order to keep that speedy. I might have been just dumpster diving while he was talking to his wackadoo friend.
Okay. So we'll say at this point you've all gathered together after about an hour. You're back at the tent. We'll say that it's approaching noon at this point.
Okay.
Might as well go into our doubts with a full stomach.
Yep, go grab a bite to eat. Then
That's a fair idea.
who wouldn't want MREs before we go underground?
MREs.
I don't know. There's a food tent that's, they're not doing MREs, but they're just doing
They
Yeah.
call it beef stroganoff.
other equally vastly prepared
Well,
mass feeding.
I'm sorry we
blandness.
haven't had hot MREs for the past couple days.
Yeah. Cold.
My bad.
Mhm.
I'll pay it back to you.
Is there any way we can divide up our sad little arsenal before we go and meet the whiz kid? Something I can carry or hide or use?
So this backpack here does have, it's got the two bottles in it. They're pill bottles. Remember that.
My medication.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
you can probably put in other things in there to make it more
Convincing.
more inconvenient for them to search the whole thing. Margaret, if I didn't know that you really like those CDs, I would recommend that you put those in there because they'd make nice shrapnel. But yeah, there's that one backpack, and then this other one has a little bit more sensitive bottles in it. I'll carry that one. I'll explain stuff away if need
Oh,
be.
look, about you paying us back for the lack of hot MREs, if you could do that, sooner rather than later, because I think time might be running out.
Well, the soonest I can pay it back is how far is it till the station?
What did I say, about a half a mile?
Okay. I could run there in a couple minutes, so I don't think you want me running in there alone.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a good way to achieve success.
No. All right.
But yeah.
Okay.
That's all I've got right now. Do you guys have bear spray, right?
I got my mace. Yep.
I'm gonna grab
Any-
2 tube socks and put a handful of rocks in them and stick them into my bra.
Nice.
Suddenly Jade has breasts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Puberty finally hit, Jade.
She went up 2 cup sizes.
All right. So you're going to head to
James
Square?
James Rolfe.
James Rolfe
James.
Square.
Yeah.
All right. So you leave Tent City and you travel what amounts to a couple of blocks. There are people around, mostly people who look homeless, people dressed in damaged clothing. We'll just call it damaged clothing, various ways. As you round the corner, you can see, there's damaged buildings all the way around, and there is a subway system terminal in the middle of like a little park square, and it's just basically a little bit above ground, and then there's stairs going down. However, most of it is collapsed. You can see that it's damaged, but there are a lot of people around that area with trash cans that they've got little fires going in, and they've appropriated lawn chairs from various places, and they're sitting there, they're warming their hands, and they look dirty and homeless. And what do you do?
Well, I'll slowly kind of walk up and just ask, hi.
Somebody stands up. Hi.
We've been told that we can find the truth here.
Oh, who sent you?
Salter Bob.
Salter Bob. And he looks around, everybody laughs. And he says, well, sure, you're looking for who? Alex?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're unofficially the security, I guess you might say. And they chuckle a little bit to themselves. And do you have anything dangerous in that backpack on stuff?
Medication, water.
We left a tank at home.
You left your tank at home? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it all scratched up?
After
Yeah, it
He
is.
says, all right. Hey, Mike. And Mike comes over and goes, yeah. And he says, let's take these people in. Mike's got the key. See, the station entrance is collapsed, but the maintenance door over here is still open. That's the way we've been going in and out. And he starts walking you over there. He says, now, don't tell anybody, but we've managed to get the electricity working. We've got our own satellite uplink, and we have been getting office furniture from some of the buildings nearby. Most of us are out here just to, sort of get some fresh air, but I'll take you on inside.
Looks like
Sounds
we
like
came
you're
to-
doing, better than the tent city.
Came to the right place.
Well, most of us we're blue collar workers, so we know things like electricity and telephone. We got a working telephone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we're doing better than those poor schmucks over there in the tent city.
Better than most of them, yeah.
So he takes you to the door. He unlocks the door, takes you inside, and you're coming in through a back door. It's a tight little space, but it eventually opens up, and there's a metal staircase leading down, and you come out through another door into what would amount to the ticket level of this particular subway, and you can see that there are couches and chairs and things like that they have obviously snaggled from some of the outbuildings around and brought in here. And there are people sitting there, resting or sleeping. You do get the impression that some of these people are still addicted to drugs and alcohol. They've got, some of them have the shakes. These people don't present themselves in any way that would seem like they could be a militia force of any kind of organization of any kind.
Right.
You do run across a couple of people who have little TVs. And oddly enough, there's some weird cabling situations where they've had somebody patch it in so that they can watch. And some of them are watching foreign things. Some of them are watching other things. But they're all sitting in groups. There's like groups of 5 or 6 of them all crowded around each television. And they're chatting at the same time that they're playing. And they're chatting about whatever. They're chatting about what it was like to have football games and that it's not the end of the world. It's just San Damiel that's been destroyed. And eventually they'll get out and having normal, everyday conversations.
Is there an abundance of forks evident?
Well, let's say that as you go by a couple of people, they look up from what they're doing and they suddenly pull out their forks and they go, forks, 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 forks. And this little chant starts around the room, the people chanting forks. And they're laughing and they're carrying on. And then they put their forks away and go back to what they were doing.
And, we must have gotten a good look at some of our underpass attackers, but nobody has looked familiar yet.
Not really. So you get to the escalators, which aren't working, and he starts to take you downstairs. And there are, once again, it's just you're counting that maybe there's so far maybe around 40 people that you've seen, um, men and women, young people and older people. Um, Nothing looks like there's like none amongst them that look like big brutes. A lot of them look kind of thin because they've been eating whatever they can get a hold of. You get to the bottom of the escalator, and you're in a larger room, and the tracks are now over on one side, and there's multiple tracks. And all of a sudden, you hear this voice from across the room yell out, a woman's voice. And she goes, hey, you guys, what are you doing here? And all of a sudden, coming through out of the shadows in the room, you see Lurleen Pardee.
Oh, fuck.
And she's like, oh my God, you guys are here. You guys made it out. Okay.
As did you.
Yeah, I came back to San Damiel. I figured I had nothing else to do.
And I see that you've joined the Brotherhood.
Oh yeah. That was kind of an accident, though, mostly. I got here before the earthquake, not too long before the earthquake hit, though. And
As in you got here, as in you're part of the Brotherhood before the earthquake?
oh no.
Okay, all right. I just make sure I was following.
I just got here, and I these people are kind of friendly. They just sort of took me in, and they're nice. They're nice people. I mean, we're all kind of in the same ratty shithole boat, but these people at least stick up for you. Nobody here is going to rape me.
That's
So,
good.
What's your impression of Alex?
10-year-old kid, nice kid, smart. Says a lot of things that are really interesting.
Are any of the band around?
No, none of the band. But my boyfriend. I told you my boyfriend died in a car accident. Well, I got a new boyfriend.
Good.
One of the guys here. He's really smart too. I mean, he's a really cool guy, and I like him a lot. You want to meet him?
Oh yeah, what's his name? Sure.
It's Peter.
Oh really?
He goes, Peter, where are you? Come here. And this guy comes out of the shadows, who looks like he's maybe in his 30s. He's dirty, and he looks vaguely familiar from a picture that you've seen. And he comes up and he goes, hey, Lurleen. He says, these are my friends. These are the guys that were in Toronto that kind of got me out of the place. And he goes, oh, wow. He says, so you guys were in Toronto. Peter Tate.
Yeah, Dr. Margaret Evans with Full Wilderness. How are you?
Oh, you're with Full Wilderness.
Yeah.
How did they come out of this whole thing?
We don't know.
They're doing fine. Sorry about your car.
My
Yeah.
car? Oh,
Yeah.
You mean what they did to my car?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow. God, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
You have no idea how long we've been looking for you.
But thanks for sending the monster.
What do you guys? You've been looking for me.
We were hired by
Oh,
Full Wilderness to find you.
Oh my God, you're with Full Wilderness. So Robert Jadick actually did have a reaction to what I said.
Yeah.
Oh,
how
man.
come-
Yeah, well, I mean, how do you not react when a little monster is sent to you in a jar?
Jeez, God, that feels like it was so long ago.
Hey, you're
Well,
brother
it's
was
kind of
worried.
how oh yeah, my brother. I hope he's okay. I have no way of knowing.
He was all right when last we checked up on him.
Yeah, him and his boyfriend. Look, I was after I sent that little sample to Robert Jadick, uh, I went out to my farm, and I got a visit from some guy I can only think was from Don Biazon, because before he left, I think he put something on my farm that tried to kill me, and it was a weird, really weird thing. And when it tried to kill me, I tried to get the hell out of there as quickly as I
Yeah,
could.
it took control of the plants.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it tried to kill us too.
I was already terrified because I had ratted out Don Biason. And so now I was convinced that they were trying to kill me, and I didn't know what the hell to do. And I fucked up my car trying to get out of that place. And I drove back towards San Damiel. Goddamn. No sooner did I get here than I was assaulted by a bunch of these guys who assaulted my car with forks and wrecked my car. And I at that point I was like, what the? My whole life has just become shit. What the hell am I going to do? So I drove up to the Palisades, and I thought seriously about jumping off the cliff. And then I just kind of thought to myself, I have really screwed up my priorities. I think that all I could think about was my fucking car. And why would that matter so much to me? And why would I be willing to kill myself over a bunch of shit? I could just disappear. And I thought about it right then about just disappearing. And then I started to think, well, why did those guys scratch up my car? Why were they saying things like awake, awake? And I thought, you know what? I got to find out. I got to find out why they wrecked my car. And I found them. And I think they're right. It's kind of a long story, but it's...
And so what do you think of Alex?
Alex? That's kind of a difficult thing to talk about. You said you were a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, are you all scientists?
And a grad student.
Right, different field to study.
Well, how do I explain this? Alex is the antivirus for a virus that we all have. And the virus that we all have is materiality. And I think that Alex is extremely special, in as much as a 10-year-old boy can be special. But
you have an idea why
you haven't met him yet.
No.
But do you have any idea why Full Wilderness would want to find him?
Why Full Wilderness would want to find Alex?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Oh, wait a second. Did they send here to you to find him?
No, they
Weird.
mentioned him.
They mentioned him. And we wanted to see what's up.
And he turns to a couple of the others and he says, guys, come here and listen to this. Did somebody send you to find Alex?
No, we were looking for you initially, but his name kept coming up. So
yeah, this whole time we've been looking for you, Peter. That was originally what we were.
We're
okay, because
Tent City, we might as well check it out.
All right. Well, because see, Alex is special, and I think I'm not sure. You guys aren't like members yet, and I don't know how much I can say to you. Maybe you should just meet Alex, and then I can. Well, I don't know how to explain it. There's something weird going on here. Something really, really weird. And I think that if I say it out loud, you'll think I'm absolutely bonkers off my rocker.
No, try me.
Nuts.
Yeah, I
We've
know.
seen
We-
a lot of weird stuff.
The last time we saw Jenny Armbruster,
Oh, you know Jenny.
we met
Yeah.
Jenny. Yeah,
We were in.
she remembered you fondly.
Yeah, and she held us captive in a cave. She was about 20 feet tall and
What?
was
Mhm.
experimenting with a lot of crazy stuff.
Did you watch
Yeah.
the news at all? You catch
Fucking
that?
Finley. Fucking Finley.
Yeah,
Finley
it's
did this
Finley.
to her, didn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Finley.
And we
Yep.
think Finley is
thought
hiding in the Bahamas or something. He's gone
Yeah,
to ground.
he wasn't there when some giant unnameable monstrosity destroyed their lab.
he? Because
Did you
I
see
have
that?
it. I have it on very good authority that your Mr. Finley is somewhere here in San Damiel, and well, I can't say anything right now. I'll talk to you about that after you meet Alex. But just to bear in mind, there is something going on here, and I'm not supposed to say anything more until I can trust you. Honestly, Lurleen says that you guys saved her, so I probably can trust you. But I just got to make sure that I can trust you.
I understand.
We've been trying to find who we can trust for a long time.
Well, we have somebody who knows things, but I'd rather wait until I can be absolutely sure, because if you he just sort of looks at you, because if you've been sent here, you just have to be careful. Okay. What's in your backpack?
Medication. Water in a poorly washed out container.
Couple of cleaning things.
Okay.
Yeah, some extra food.
We're just just a little boy.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah,
And
10 is young.
Despite the fact that he's a little boy, he's got some enemies, and we just need to be careful.
Yeah,
What kind of enemies?
I'll explain all that to you afterwards.
We were followed by, not here. We actually chased him off. Well, Jade chased him off. But
Are you sure?
A guy who was, yeah. Well,
I wonder if and he turns to somebody and says, I wonder if that guy's been sending spies. We've all been really careful. You sure you weren't followed?
make sure.
I mean, yeah, we looked behind us, and we didn't see anyone following us. We took a couple turns.
All right. Well, let's get this over with then quickly. We'll see if we can bring you into Alex. Okay. He's probably watching TV.
Do you think cartoon type?
I don't know what's on in there. We get whatever we can. We're getting mostly, African channels and Chinese channels and, Space Ghost and strange stuff like that. Whatever's on. Give me 5 minutes. All right.
All right.
Absolutely.
So he goes. Lurleen is just like, isn't he adorable?
Yeah,
Yeah, what a coincidence. We were looking for him.
Small world.
You found him.
You were looking for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he's been here for a while.
Well, yeah, he took all his money out of the bank, bought a farmhouse, and like he just said, ran away from it scared. And
Yeah,
by
he
the
said
way,
there was some sort of creature on his farm.
yeah,
It's not there anymore.
No, it's loose in the world somewhere.
He said
Hopefully it just died.
He said
probably has died.
that these bad people have been all up into, what did he call it? Genetics?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
The crazy thing is, the guy he mentioned, Finley, is married to the woman who owns the Black Dragon.
Yeah, I think we know that.
So it's a small...
We've been told not to
world.
eat at that place.
Mm-hmm.
Wise choice.
We We snagged the cookbook before we left Toronto.
Well, I'm
What
just
a-
glad you guys helped me get out of there because, quite honestly, I think old Woot, the bartender, would have had me strung up or shot after
Yeah.
what you guys did to his place.
I've actually probably have you lightly sautéed, maybe with the get a
Well,
little bit of greens. On
I'd
the
like to
side.
say that those are all just rumors, but I'm not so sure anymore.
We snagged the
it's-
cookbook.
The
Oh,
secret
that's what you're
ingredient
saying.
is people.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
No, we literally stole a cookbook.
Holy shit!
Yeah, from Mrs. Finley.
Yeah.
Those chocho were scary creatures. You're
She's a
lucky to
scary
get
old
out.
creature. Good Jesus Christ, she's a scary.
Yeah.
Hideous old
That's true.
bag.
Do you miss swimming?
As a mermaid, it was a job.
Yeah.
I'd be glad if I
good at
never
it.
get back into a swimming pool again.
you're
About that
pretty
time,
good at
Peter comes back, and Peter's like, "All right, you guys can come in and see him." One request. Could you scuff up your shoes?
They're probably pretty scuffy, but sure. Is
Sure.
there? Does he not like
Sure.
reflections or something?
Well, it's things that are, overly fancy or shiny. You'll understand why.
Okay, yeah.
That's part of the
Well-
whole Forks thing.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Actually, here, you got a fork on you?
Oh yeah, of course. Go fork on
Thanks.
this.
And I scratched the least scratched portion of my
Oh yeah, that'll work.
army boots.
That'll
Yeah.
work. Now, if you guys join us, you're gonna have to pretty much do that. Your wristwatch, your piece of jewelry, whatever.
Hmm.
Are eyeglasses okay?
Yeah, you don't have to scratch the lenses. Yeah, we don't. Glass is not quite the same thing. That's why they don't scratch your windshields in your car. I mean, we don't want you to be safe. We just don't want you to have the
Shiny.
real shiny car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can explain part of that to you, but let's see how.
Okay.
Okay. And are we going down a tunnel? Are we going
Yeah,
down
you're going across a little bridge that they've sort of constructed across the platforms to a room on the other side. And as you're going there, you can see that it's been wired up, that there's that they've torn cables out of the walls, and they've got car batteries and stuff like that, so that they have electricity, and that they've got some people in here who are electricians, so they know what they're doing, and they've trying to bring some semblance of technology back.
And I'm giving my peers like the side eye, like,
Mhm.
do we know what we're doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
And aloud, I'll say to Peter, like, it seems like you guys have a very peaceful coexistence here.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the only way we're going to survive is to cooperate with one another.
So it's almost like a commune or something?
Well, yeah, we share everything, but it's not like rules. We don't really have any rules,
Oh, okay. So it's not like commies.
right? And there's a lot of us who are, in bad states, and he sort of points around to some of the people. They're still heavily addicted to things that have made them forget, the horrors around them. I can't blame them, but I can't join them either.
Right.
Have you been following this palm thing?
I don't know what. Oh, that's that drug, that Brazilian drug. Yeah, there's a few guys that have been addicted to that. I think that it's mostly more harmless than anything else. Kind of like, and he names a few other chemicals like whatever ecstasy would be. Unless you OD on it, it gives you kind of a euphoric high and makes you kind of want to have sex a lot. He says,
And
I don't
most
have any,
people don't get addicted.
yeah, I don't have a problem in the sex department at all.
No, how'd you meet Lurleen? Oh, right, because she joined the Forks.
Yeah, she's a nice girl.
It's a catch. Bit of a history.
Don't we all?
Some of us more than others. Mr.
And
Tate.
anyway, he
Just
takes you.
don't bring up mermaids.
He takes you across the bridge. Takes you over to the other room. And inside, it's a fairly large room, maybe 40 by 40. You can tell that at some point in time it was offices, and all of the furniture has been moved aside, and there's some couches, and there's a couple of little televisions going, and there are maybe 5 people sitting on this couch, and kind of in the middle of them, sitting on the couch, but sort of leaning forward, is a little boy. Looks like he's 10. Looks like they're watching an episode of Batman and Robin, the old 1960s, 70s TV series.
Holy old school Batman.
Yeah, exactly, old school. And Alex is talking, and Alex says, you see, because the problem is that when you watch a television show, especially one with these bright colors and things like that, it kind of captures your mind and it brings you into the picture, and you forget that you are living in the real world, and you lose time. You completely become oblivious to the things around you. And that's why you should always watch television with friends, because the friends will keep you rooted in the real world, and you won't lose yourself. And all these people are going, oh, that makes sense. And in fact, it does make sense.
Yeah.
What is his current audience? How is it comprised?
Oh, there's a couple of guys sitting on the couch, some of them young, one of them fairly old. There's a girl. They're
Nothing
watching.
striking about them.
No, not really. And they're just watching TV. And when Alex talks, they look at Alex. Not in any particular mesmeric sort of way. They look at him. And when he sees you, he stands up. And he says, so Peter, these are the new people that wanted, that Salter Bob sent. He says, hello, do you guys
Hi.
want to watch some television with some friends?
Sure.
Batman?
And he says, yeah, he says, it's what's on right now. We don't really have much choice. And he says, but it's nice. He says, well, look, if you come here to us, then we're your friends. We'll be your friends. We'll help support you in getting yourself back up on the ground. And he looks at you and he says, it seems to me that you guys have all been through a lot of problems. And I don't think that they all have to do with the earthquake. You guys look tired.
Oh, you don't know the half of it, Alex. That we are worn out.
Well, you can rest here. Now, I want you all to do power rolls.
I rolled a 90 for 60.
Oh, I got a hard.
I failed.
30 is a hard success for me.
Okay.
Hard success here.
All right. Those of you who failed your power roll, you reserve your judgment. You have no basis yet to make any kind of judgment in this situation. Those of you who passed, you feel nothing in the way of any kind of weird influence.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm going to lean over to Desmond and kind of be like, we've been set up.
Now, I, as the GM, can't convey it, but whatever Alex actually comes out of his mouth makes sense. And it doesn't make sense because it's magical. It makes
Just-
sense just because it
it's-
makes sense.
Yeah, he's just saying rational. I'm like,
Logical.
there's nothing.
It's logical. It's rational.
Don
And
bioscience.
and sometimes it's things that you hadn't really thought about before, but they were in the back of your mind. And he seems to cut through the bullshit and get right to the heart of the problem instantly, and just so you can see why everybody's kind of fascinated with this kid.
Desmond, I mean, think about it. I mean, they gave us a placebo for a reason. This kid doesn't have any psychic influence. Look, they've been having talks with Neurogen. They just want their damn experiment back. They sent us to find it.
Right.
He's
We've
not hurting
been.
anybody.
We've
All
been.
right, Alex. You got a seat?
Sure. You want to talk? Let's go in the other room so that they can watch the TV. It's kind of
Right.
noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got.
Sure.
We got.
Can Peter come with us? Can
Yeah.
Peter come with us?
Peter, please come.
Yeah.
Alex, you've done Peter for a while, right?
Yeah, for a few months.
The funny thing is, we've been looking for Peter since he went missing.
Since he ran away from the things that were going on at Don Biazime. Yeah, he told me
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
And
So it's really great to meet him at last. I mean, we've known a lot about him in some ways.
Peter's a nice guy. He's kind of overly sexual, and it's weird to hear a 10-year-old say something like that.
Alex.
And Peter just smiles.
Once we get into another room, kind of away from the others,
Mm-hmm.
Alex, I fear that there are some bad people looking for you.
Oh yeah. He's talking about that thing,
That thing.
and Peter says, "Yeah, probably."
What? Wait, I want to make sure that we're on this. Like, what thing are you talking about?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, this guy showed up in San Damiano, and we didn't know it at the time when he showed up, but we started to suspect that somebody was looking for Alex, somebody that meant to do him harm.
Mhm.
And we finally kind of identified this guy.
Is
And
he
Alex
Sandy?
Magnus Glonsandi. Yeah, you know him.
What?
Damn it!
Yeah,
Another-
well, let me go on. Alex wanted to see him because, he wanted to, when Alex looks at you, he kind of tell a lot of things by your body language and stuff like that. It's his gift. So we staked him out at the hotel where he was staying. This is before the earthquake. And he came out of the building and he got into his limo, drove off. And Alex turned to me and he said, there's something seriously wrong there. That thing isn't really a human being. And I said, what are you talking about? And he says, well, you wouldn't notice it, but I do, that he is in a state of stress. He's in a permanent state of stress because he is constantly having to use part of himself to concentrate to hold that shape. And it's like he's constantly reforming himself. I could see it because everything about him was changing constantly. I don't know what he is, but that's not human. There's nothing human about that thing.
Does anything of that description ring any bells of anything that we've come across or studied?
Not particularly, but
Lolly was wearing a skin suit. So
Yeah, the
no.
Reverend had those changeable eyes.
I mean, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure we're talking about the same one. We're talking about the human Adonis.
The Icelandic guy.
No,
Yeah.
not human. Not human, Heather. Look,
Yeah, he looks. He'd fool most people, but he also might have some ability to make you think otherwise. Um, that thing, and I don't know what that thing is up to, but I
so
have.
Remember at the lab.
And he looks over and he says, "We've begun to piece together some information."
I would very much like to see your information.
Yeah.
Do you have a chair I can sit down? I'm feeling faint just
look.
hearing this.
I mean, we
Bring her
need to
some
exchange
water.
information, and we need to exchange it fast, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Um,
Juan Sandi. I mean, in all honesty, look, it was that man that contacted us through Full Wilderness to try to find Alex.
So he was trying to find us.
Yeah, we didn't
Are you
trust him.
sure? Are
We
you
did
sure you
not-
weren't followed?
I certainly hope not.
Reasonably sure we weren't followed.
We might need to relocate.
But I'm.
Can I grab one of the people out of the television room?
Sure.
I'll wave one of them over and be like, run out to the front and ask the security guys if they've seen anyone strange recently. Can you do that for me?
Strange how? Everybody looks strange.
Maybe clean.
Like he showered
Clean cut, in
he
a
showered
suit.
today. Like he's smoking or looks sketchy.
All right, that sounds like one of that thing's
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, one of those.
Alex,
can you run a check?
What
Thanks.
can you tell us about Neurogen?
What's Neurogen?
Look, this thing or whatever it is trying to find you told us that you came from a laboratory where you were raised called Neurogen.
I was born here in San Damiano. Since my parents died a couple of years ago, I've been living on the streets.
Alex, you don't have any idea why this thing wants to find you?
Peter, maybe you can explain that. Peter says, we've suspected for some time now that this is going to sound crazy, okay? But this is the part that I wanted to tell you that sounds crazy. But we believe that it's absolutely true.
Hey, listen, I saw a statue come to life, eat a couple people, and
well, I don't know about that, but maybe you're the crazy one. Who knows? No, look, something is wrong with human beings. Our ancestors were big, brutish survivalists. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors survived by their wits and by their strength and by their cunning. Somewhere along the line, something has been introduced into human beings that makes us highly susceptible to sparkly, shiny objects. We are mesmerized by bright colors. We lose ourselves. You heard me talking to the guys about television. There's nothing wrong with television if you treat it the right way. There's nothing wrong with cars or nice things. It's that we have been conditioned. We have been systematically bred in order to be conditioned to make us easier to handle, to make us easy to control. Your Magnus Glansandi is the head of Rothersham Industries, or affiliated with it. They produce drugs to make people placid and not arguments. They take anger away, to get rid of depression. That was one of their biggest things. They want people as soft and pliable and cow-like as they can possibly get. But when you start manipulating genes, and you guys should know this, what you sometimes end up with is a backlash. You end up with a germ that's resistant to your machinations. You end up with a creature that is resistant to your manipulation. And he points at Alex. He says, I think Alex is a new evolutionary step that he can see through the crap. He can see through the bullshit. And I think Magnus wants him dead. Dead at all costs. I think that thing is an alien or a monster that's come here to turn us into something that we shouldn't be. And if we let him...
There is another problem. And I haven't seen a connection. The earthquake.
The earthquake.
Magnus, or whatever the hell Magnus is, when he sent us on this merry little escapade to find Alex, informed us that the earthquake was caused by a subterranean race of things. Chthonians, he called them. And they wanted to, they caused the earthquake to attack Alex in an attempt to take him out. We staked out the sinkhole over by the camp last night because a geologist friend of ours had noticed footprints in the sinkhole. After 12, sometime after 12, admittedly I was asleep. It wasn't my shift, but 30 plus people were compelled to jump into the pit. We managed to save all but 10. And I personally watched as these 10 people jumped into the pit. 3 of our party, Heather, Jade, and Desmond, were affected, but we managed to break them out of it. Admittedly, I just ran around slapping people. It was partially effective. But they had a shared vision that sounds a lot like these Chthonians.
Listen, look, Dr. Liege, everything Gonzandi's told us has been a lie.
He turns
except for the Chthonians.
No, but I mean, think about it. I mean, it's just
that
might be true, but the reason why they're here, right? But the reason that they're here, but
possibly.
Think about it. I mean, think about it this way: if his whole goal in life is to make people go, you know, what a better way than to eat them. I mean, think about it. What if he just brought them here because for his own purposes? If he's the one that brought them here, not Alex.
Go get Richard. Bring him in.
Maybe.
Would you be willing to join the Brotherhood of Forks?
Why
Possibly.
not? I don't have anything else to live for. Heart's broken.
Well,
I'm prepared to wield a fork in your honor.
All I ask then is that you scratch up anything that you've got. You don't have to scratch up your glasses. Tear your clothes a little bit. Make them less appealing to your mind.
Wait. Hold on. We got to consider this. If we are being watched by this entity that wants to come hurt Alex, and we then show up looking like one of the Brotherhood of Fork, that gives us away.
Mm-hmm.
He raises his hand like he's in school. He says,
Alex or...
Alex.
Okay.
Yes, Alex.
He says, I don't think that you'll be going back to that monster. He says, I'm not stopping you. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying if that monster is watching us, we might be able to mislead it if we don't. Unless
you showed him where we were by being followed.
Well,
then we're safe because he's been looking for me.
I did send someone out front. I did send someone out front to check with the...
Well, and Dr. Lees, you do just so happen to know where there is a lot of weapons.
I do.
if that creature is going to come, might as well be prepared for it.
Well, the question from me, Alex, is, well, first of all, what, I guess Richard's going to tell us what he knows about the worms, but as far as what you know about the creature that calls itself Glansandi, you know, is it better for us all if it's destroyed?
I think
Because
so.
It might willingly come to us and not understand that we suspect it.
Right, but if we join the Brotherhood, then it will no longer trust us, and we lose that
I would
advantage.
never, ever want you to risk something like that. If that thing has been manipulating us for this long, it's not stupid. It would probably be able to figure out any kind of trick that you'd pull on it, and you'd all be dead. And I don't want that to happen. No, we've got plans. That's what Richard's going to go over.
I'm
And the
scratching
door,
up my watch and stuff, and
the door opens, and in walks Peter with Richard Slakes.
Richard.
And Richard comes in and goes, guys.
It's like, it's been a while.
He says, well, let me go over just what happened to me. After I gave you that manuscript, I got to thinking about it, and I started doing some snooping. I didn't like the fact that Glansandi fellow was hanging around Jadic. And when nobody was looking, I broke into his office. And I have a couple of things to show you. Part of our plans for tomorrow night. But I left. I left right after that. And I figured that if Jadic had figured out that I had given you that manuscript, I'd probably be in deep shit anyway. So I got out of there. And it was only after the big one that I managed to, this all happened after the big one anyway. But it was then that I found the Brotherhood of Forks, and I met Alex then. Things started to make some sense. He says, so first off, take a look at this. I found this on Glansandi's desk, and I thought that it was most definitely extremely important to what was going on. Desmond? And you can see that it's in Glansandi's handwriting.
Yes, that familiar, all caps, reconstitution of order, catastrophic earthquake, aftershocks prevent rebuilding, pay off seas with survivors.
And and Alex, when you say that, Alex says seas. Maybe that's that Chthonian thing that you guys are talking about.
Indeed. And then disease strikes, accounting for more. Then drain water tables. General evacuation tithed for seas in sunny Jim Canyon. Tithed, as if he worships them. Congress to refuse appropriation or relief. New insurers refused area. Send fire vampires?
I don't know what that is.
Holdouts.
Sounds crazy.
That's two bad things. Full wilderness park to establish model for human herds. Residents of the first great one.
We don't know what all of that means, but based on some of the stuff Slakes has told us about what happened to you guys up north.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't met any fire vampires, but you know, I have yeah.
So Slake says they're going to be meeting tomorrow at San Daniel Stadium. The stadium sits on bedrock, and despite the earthquake, it remained pretty much completely intact. We were wondering for a while there why they hadn't appropriated it for another tent city, but they didn't, and there was some reason behind it. The mayor seems to have disappeared. The vice mayor wouldn't allow anybody to go in there. on the pretext that if anything can be saved, that stadium can be saved. But that's not really the way humanitarianism works. And I think that they were planning this before the earthquake. And he hands you a piece of paper and he says, here's the guest list for tomorrow. Maybe Heather?
Meeting of the board, guest list, chair president, Magnus Gonzalez. That makes me sad. Brigadier General Wolf, Benson, U.S. Army, Special Ops, Bibber. Vice Mayor Denny Copland, California Senator Jacob Peel, House Member Terrence Glorst, Dr. and Mrs. Finley of Don Biozyne. Various other scientists, guest C. Robert Jatick, Full Wilderness. Edward Chandler, representative New World Industry. Claire Donaldson, also representative New World Industries. Paolo Sachs, National Security Council, and various officials and representatives dealing with California.
I really don't. New World Industries. New World.
He couldn't even think of me for his guest list. What? Damn it.
If ever there was a time for a horrendously inconvenient gas explosion,
Well,
it's now.
here's the thing. We have plans at the stadium.
What sort of plans?
We got the blueprints at the stadium. But there's a couple of things. And Alex says, we need information. He says, I think that we need to scope that place out. We need to find a way to do whatever we want to do. Because I think that if we launch an attack, we might be able to take out some of the big shots in this whole thing and stop it. I don't think we'll stop it. I think that we'll slow it down now. Maybe enough time for us to gather our forces and actually do something serious. But this is going to happen tomorrow night. So we've got one day to scope that place out and see what's going on over there. And then we need to listen. We need to find out what they're planning, what they're going to do, and then launch our attack
When's this meeting?
tomorrow night.
All right.
I mean, this has reached high levels of government. This is.
Yeah.
Well, you know what Jadik's pull is like.
Alex,
I'm not sure Jadick has everything to do with this. I think he's just a tiny little cog in the wheel.
If that room is filled with people with as much pull as Jadick has, of course, the higher-ups in the government are involved.
Richard says, I find it almost impossible to believe that Jadick is behind any of this. I think that he's been tricked or influenced by your Mr. Clansandi.
Look, and these New World Industry people are here. I mean, Finley's going to be there. I mean, these are people that have been deeply involved with manipulating a lot of bad things.
Keep in mind that Mrs. Findlay runs a cannibal ring.
Right, but I mean, if you're going
Just
to attack,
describe, yes.
I think that you should be a little more prepared. Dr. Liege, didn't your friend describe to you some certain caches of weaponry?
Weaponry and surveillance equipment.
Right.
I think it's time to pay him a little visit.
Yeah.
Alex says, rather than Alex say, he's still just a 10-year-old. Peter says, you won't be alone. We got about 40 able men, the ones who aren't. And we were planning on assault ourselves. We didn't have very much to assault them with, but sounds like you've got a cache.
We don't, but we know somebody who does.
Yeah, we know somebody who's a very prepared individual.
Well,
And
anything
what,
would
what,
help.
what a better way than to show him
And
that the time is.
have scrounge up. I'm gonna pull out my laundry list. If anyone can scrounge up these chemicals,
Richard, could you take care of that?
yeah.
He says, that's what I do for a living. I'm the scrounger.
Richard, Alex, Peter, these backpacks. We didn't know what we were going to experience coming in here.
Alex says, I know. You were going to kill me. Especially Margaret.
Well,
That's okay.
yeah. These backpacks are not medication.
I'm not afraid to die.
But you, out of all of us, need to live now.
Well, that's what they tell me. I think that I need to relocate. I can't take the
Yes.
chance that...
So this backpack will cause a modest explosion, but mostly it'll light things on fire. If you want to use this to cover your tracks. Also, if this goes off and I walk back without a backpack, if Glensandi has eyes and tries to contact us, we can say that we made an attempt.
No, we need to. I mean, Alex has got to get out of here first.
Well, look,
Definitely.
Peter says, look, I think this is what we were planning. They can't have stuff going on there 24 hours. Maybe they can, to prep for whatever's going on tomorrow. We've
I'd imagine
already
they're going to have guard shifts.
Well, we've already seen that they're putting up barriers to traffic so that they can, whoever's coming, they can let through and not let anybody else through. But I think that if we were planning on maybe midnight tonight, seeing if we can get close to the stadium and maybe infiltrate and find out what they're planning. And if you've got some stuff for us, we can plant some explosives and,
Here,
I don't think we can't blow up the whole stadium, but we can certainly, they're not going to be in the seat. They're going to be on the floor.
Try and rig that. In fact, I might try and go with you.
And Alex
Yeah.
then pipes up and he says, but make sure we get as much information as we can before you kill them all. And then once again, it's kind of weird to hear a little boy talking about kill them all. He says it rather casually.
It's also worth noting that there's a special guest, capital C, on the list.
Yeah. And then you said
Chthonian.
something about a C, a Chthonian, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the capital C on both of those items is a Chthonian and they're planning something really grotesque tomorrow.
I'd kind of like to see that, Alex says. And
Look, I mean,
I'll
they said
try
it on
and
their
get
note.
pictures.
They're allowing the Chthonians to eat the survivors of the earthquake as payment, and apparently they intend to have the Chthonians do a lot more damage.
Right, and also unleash some disease, which I can't imagine someone better equipped than Finley to devise a really horrific.
it's
No
all
one's-
been organized.
Look, we
one's
saw what
itinerary
that thing pretending to be Loli implemented to steal some of the mother's milk from that lab.
Yeah.
We could all explain to
That's
Alex the group vision we had too. Maybe
Yeah.
he can glean something from that.
Yeah, being inside those giant worms felt magnificent. That's how they lured me, by empathizing in a way.
Look, whatever Gonzandi wants to.
So since you've
wants us to be fodder for things like the Chthonians, things like Rontagoth, things, all manner of terrible things.
Well, it's in the It's in the itinerary. Human herds.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
to be cattle.
Since the Brethren have been occupying this station, have you found any entrances to the sewer system? I wonder
Oh,
if there's a way to get under the stadium.
maybe, but I don't know that you'll need to. Maybe there should be. Some of the system, the sewers have been really damaged though by the earthquake. That area is in bedrock. I'm not sure. They should be intact. So we'll make our plans. We'll sneak over there tonight, find out what they're up to. And Alex is like, I kind of would like to see that. Can I go tomorrow night? And they're like, that's way too dangerous for you to go. He
Yeah.
says, well, then figure out where to put me so they can't find me.
Hmm.
And I think that's where we'll end it for tonight. And our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Brian Daly, Keith Craig, Jason Melnichuk, and David Castaway. With yours truly as keeper of the secrets, we're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production. In order to create a richer listener experience, we provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. We also have an Into the Darkness Facebook group where you can chat with us and the other members of our club. Once again, link below. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure to the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.